Hello, New Hope Ministry. Stephen Dean speaking once again. And this week I'd like to talk about the tiny mad idea, as spoken of in the Course in Miracles. Now, the tiny mad idea is how this experience we're currently undergoing came about. See, untold millennia ago, long before any human memory, or so it appears. But in your dreams at night, you just join them, don't you? You don't, when you start to dream, the dream doesn't begin like some kind of film. You just join in with the dream. And when you wake up, you leave the dream. See, this dream is actually ongoing all the time. You know, I mean, when we're born, we just join the dream. Whatever went on before it is what people tell us. People tell us went on before it. Everybody's got a different view of what history is, really. You know, really, it's just nothing. There is no past. Anyway, getting back to the tiny mad idea, and I'll quote from the work itself. It says, "Let us return the dream he gave away unto the dreamer, who perceives the dream as separate from himself and done to him." Now, into eternity, where all is one, there crept a tiny mad idea, at which the Son of God remembered not to laugh. Which means, when he says remembered not, he means, I remember not. I forgot. It's almost Shakespearean, you know. I mean, alas, I remembered not, which means I forgot. And that's how that is interpreted. There crept a tiny mad idea of which the Son of God remembered not to laugh. He remembered not to laugh. He forgot to laugh. You see, he forgot to laugh. And when he forgot to laugh, he began to think that all this is real, as we say. And once we started thinking it was real, we were opened up to all its terrors. Now, I know I've mentioned this in previous homilies, but it's worth dwelling on again because it's very, very important. Now, it could be argued that Adam and Eve are the first people that were on earth, because it says, as I said before, at the beginning of the dream, in I don't wish to cause any confusion here, but originally, the Garden of Eden was the state of mind we were in before we got the tiny mad idea that this was real. You see, that's what the tiny mad idea was. When we forgot to laugh, it gave us this tiny mad idea that this is all real. And once that happened, you know, well, we know what happened. We're here now suffering the consequences of it. Though it's not all bad, but a lot of it is. Anyway, the tiny mad idea. Now, when God caused Adam to fall asleep, Adam, as I said before, is actually Hebrew for man. So when God caused man to fall asleep, the dream commenced from that moment on, because when he talks about taking the rib out of him and making a woman, Eve, actually, man was separating into two. He became a man and a womb man and woman. And everything around him, the birds, the animals, everything separated. As I said before, everything here has an opposite. Even colours have an opposite. You know, orange is the opposite of green. Yellow is the opposite of purple. You know, and in varying shades as well. Everything here has an exact opposite, except truth, which doesn't have an opposite. I spoke about that before. You know, truth has no opposite. Lies don't mean anything. An error is just a mistake, which this is. Like, we shouldn't really be here. This is a mistake. We should be in heaven with our Father. Anyway, forgetting. And it's easy to forget that this is an illusion. Just say we're in the Garden of Eden, the golden age, knowing that this is just the perfect love of God. And suddenly we get the tiny mad idea that it's real. Just say when our children are born, we don't tell them what this really is. We just say this is reality. How would they know any different? And if they're born into this world and we say, no, this isn't really it, like it's something better than that, they would believe you, I suppose. But they'd have their doubts because of the obvious and apparent reality of this place. You see, that's why there's so much trouble in this world, because everyone's born here with a clean slate. I mean, there is residual memory. You do carry some residual memory of past lives with you. You have to. Otherwise, you wouldn't build up the points needed in this apparent afterlife to eventually get home. Because it would appear that there are some aspects of the afterlife which are like a game, though whether it's a game or not, it doesn't matter. But you have to relive so many lives, reincarnated so many times till you gather enough residual knowledge to make sure you finally leave the dream and get home. Anyway, I've digressed a bit there. But anyway, back to the idea of the whole thing is that we have to wake up. Like, it can be played like a game anyway. You know, you have to realise certain things, like you have to forgive. You have to forgive, incidentally, by realising that everybody is of God, the same as you. Everybody's got the same spirit. So everybody is God, because spirit is God. And the dream is us experiencing other people with something that are not God, you know. This whole experience could be called not God as opposed to God, you see. But God is here. He's unseen because love is unseen. You know, love is unseen. Love is of the unseen world. Happiness is unseen. It's seen on smiling faces. But it's an unseen quality, you know. Because it's seen as opposed to the seen. It's unseen as opposed to the seen world. And we're getting back to the tiny mad idea. Once that happened, we were trapped in the dream. There's aspects of this dream, because as we split into perfect opposites, there's going to be negative entities in this world who will oppress the positive ones. They'll want to take what isn't theirs. And that's because there has to be negative people in a world of extreme opposites, you see. It's the nature of this place. So what we have to do is make sure we don't fall into that negative trap by being as loving as we can, even in the face of this negativity, because it's the only thing you could fight it with, really. And it's not even a fight. It's not even a battle, because love is all there really is. And when you release the love that's in your heart, you overcome all this anyway. You know it's not real. You know it's not true. And like when you go to a visit to the cinema, you know what's going on the screen. You can grieve, you can cry, you can laugh, you can even be very afraid of what may be going on the screen. But behind the screen, there's nothing going on, is there? You see? And when you leave the pictures, you just leave the memories of that behind with you. That was a good film, that was a bad film, or whatever, but you just leave it with you. It wasn't true. But while you were there, you allowed yourself to believe it so you could enjoy the film. And that's what we are, that's where we are at here. We have no memories of ourselves being, I suppose, if we had certain memories, we wouldn't be able to stay here. We have some memories, or vague memories that we're not actually from this place. But it's thinking this is real that keeps us here, you see. Once we break free of the chain of thinking that this is real and that we are not, how can I put this? We are kept from God by being kept afraid. This is the world of fear as opposed to the world of love. And because it's the world of fear, it keeps trying to make us fearful to keep us here, because that's what it is, a world of fear. We are inside the idea of the opposing world to God's love. And we are here to experience it. And once we realise it's just a dream, the dream ends, although it all still looks the same, the dream ends, we now remember that it's all nothing but perfect love. And when we pass on, we just get out of our body and we're already there in a land of perfect love. Okay, thanks very much. That's my homily for this week. I'll see you next week. Bye.